Hey, y'all, it's your girl Blossom C. Brown, and welcome to my channel. If you are new to this channel, which I know a lot of y'all are, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that way you'll know when I post new videos. So before we get started, I just wanted to come on and say thank y'all so much for watching this video. This channel is going to be dedicated to my political commentary or my commentary on anything for that matter. I am a very unique, opinionated person. And as a Black trans woman, you gotta have a Black trans woman perspective. And for me, this channel is gonna be dedicated to giving my views, creating a space where we can have healthy debates, and being able to confront the issues that are happening. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. So let's get into the breaking news of the week, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As you may know, Charlie Kirk was assassinated this week on a college campus. The campus is named Utah Valley University, if I'm not mistaken, but he was there with his comeback tour. And so Charlie Kirk is known to go to college campuses and debating young folks who are into politics. From what I understand is typically people who are more liberal get to come up to the mic and debate him. But he draws major crowds. And unexpectedly, he was shot and killed while he was on stage under the tent. And a lot of chaos has been happening this week. Now, from what I understand is Charlie was shot after a question around mass shootings. And listening to some of the people's account that were there, they said that it was only about 2 people who came up to the mic. The question was asked about mass shooting. He said that comment, and ultimately you could hear 1 gunshot. And from witnesses' accounts there, he was shot in the neck, and you could see blood everywhere. And me personally, I did see the video. There were a couple of entities that was playing the video in small parts, but I did see the one part where he was shot and a little bit of blood. I'm not gonna say a little bit of blood, but blood did come out of his neck. I hear on X it was a lot worse. They showed more footage on it, but it is very gruesome. It is very horrific and very traumatizing. Now, let's be clear. I am not a Charlie Kirk fan, but me and Charlie Kirk do run around in the same debate circles. He was a debater just as much as I am. And the thing was, he was someone who definitely had an opinion that came across as very demeaning, in my personal opinion. And that's just somebody as a liberal. But there were people who loved him. There were people who supported him. There were people that believed in what he believed in. And so we have to leave it at that. But apparently, Charlie Kirk's shooter has just been caught and identified. Now, according to NBC News, Tyler Robinson is now in custody. His family did turn him in, his father, if I'm not mistaken, after he confessed to the crime, the Utah governor says. And here are some of the things that we do know for a fact. Investigators interviewed a member of Robinson's family who said he became more political in recent years. The family member said Robinson told him that Kirk was coming to Utah Valley University, and the pair discussed how they didn't like Kirk and the viewpoints that he had. Investigators interviewed a member of Robinson's family who said he had become more political in recent years. The family member said Robinson recently told them that Kirk was coming to Utah Valley University, and the pair discussed how they didn't like Kirk and the viewpoints he held. Authorities said they recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle used in the shooting from a wooded area. Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray is planning to file formal charges against the suspect on Tuesday, according to a statement from his office. And also, here's some more information that I found out. Now, the killer actually did attend the university for 1 semester. He did drop out. There was a discrepancy about the bullet that was found. Apparently, conservatives had made up this lie that the bullet had transgender ideology on there. But upon more looking, that was not the case. So over the last week, the MAGA base has really been fueled because of Charlie Kirk's death. HBCUs have been receiving death threats. Trans people, Black people, immigrants, you name it, many groups of people were blamed for this. But the killer is not trans, not an immigrant, not Black, not liberal. He is a white, cisgendered, conservative, MAGA male who's 22 years old, who had access to guns. Keep that in mind. As the right has been making despicable, disgusting claims that other vulnerable groups was responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk. Let me put some more of my thoughts around this. I think it's extremely dangerous when you blame vulnerable groups who had nothing to do with his assassination. What happened to him was horrific, and it was shocking, and it was unexpected. And I hate that a lot of the conversations around Charlie Kirk's death has been reduced to us just having a difference of opinion. We cannot forget the reputation that Charlie Kirk has, that was glorified on the right and that was dismissive on the left and deemed as hateful, spiteful. Two things can be true at the same time. There are people that love Charlie Kirk, and there are people that don't like Charlie Kirk. There are people that have empathy for Charlie Kirk and his family, and there are some people that do not have empathy for Charlie Kirk and his family. But Charlie Kirk himself did not even believe in empathy. Let's take a look at what he said.
Empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage.
And I've shown that because the conversation around empathy has been a big, hot issue this week. You cannot expect people who Charlie Kirk has demeaned in his political commentary to have empathy. Once again, people have a right not to have empathy if they don't want to. If Charlie Kirk didn't believe in it, then guess what? Their lack of empathy can be justified. If you want to have empathy, you're more than welcome to. But I think trying to shame and trying to get things taken away from folks who don't want to have empathy because they are a part of a community that he has harmed in his commentary and in his rhetoric is disgusting. And it's a two-way fold. I'm sorry. I think the right has done it so many times and have gotten so many passes. But I do believe that if Trump was not in office, the right would not be getting away with it the way that they do. Donald Trump being in office makes a big difference. And I find it interesting because I've been online researching and really paying attention to the news and information that comes up about Charlie Kirk. And I find it interesting that at the end of Charlie Kirk's life, he was calling for the Epstein files to be released on Trump. I was also reading last night that Trump was a big donor to Turning Point USA, which Charlie Kirk did co-found. I was reading this post from Laura Loomer, and I have to admit, this is crazy. Basically in the message, Laura Loomer says that Charlie Kirk turned his back on Trump when he called for the Epstein files to be released, and how Donald Trump has donated a lot of money to Turning Point USA, and it's just bad. Now, I don't know how true this is. I'm not about to dig into any of that because that ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't my business. But there is a rift in the Conservative Party, especially in the MAGA base. And I'm just finding it very interesting how that's going to go. I think that trans people, Black people, immigrants, women, I think anybody who feels the way that they do about Charlie Kirk from the harm that he's caused should be allowed to say what they need to say. And this selective outrage that's coming from the right, it just really needs to stop. I think they should focus more on mourning Charlie Kirk. I think that if they feel like his legacy is such a big deal, maybe they can amplify it. That's their business. That's their right to. But don't try to push the rest of us in it who may not want that. Gun violence in this country is so horrible. And for so long, people on the left have experienced that. Just this year, a Minnesota House Democratic leader by the name of Melissa Hartman was shot and killed when someone dressed as an ICE officer came to her home, shot her and her husband just for her political views. And yet the right didn't say too much about that. But the right is expecting folks on the left and folks in the center to mourn Charlie Kirk. There was no flags at half-staff. There was nothing. And I'm sorry, her last name was Hortman, not Hartman. I apologize for that. But you all, there has to be major changes around gun reform in this country. And I hate to say it, I don't know if Charlie Kirk's assassination will be the key that finally gets gun reform in this country. Because conservatives are used to seeing it happen one way. Now that it's affected their own community, they're now looking at things differently. And I feel if the Democrats were to introduce a bill or something around gun reform, will Republicans sign it? I think it's a good idea. Would he have wanted that? I don't know. Would it be something that he would approve? I don't know. But the reality of it is, there needs to be a change in this country. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but truth is, we'll have to see what happens. And that's pretty much my take. Once again, if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that way you'll know when I post new commentary. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please let me know your thoughts and your feelings in the comments, and I'll check it out later.